Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at this 2x82 belt grinder that was sent to me completely free of charge from Vevor over at Vevor.com. You can check the links down in the description down below if you're interested in picking one of these up. I do not get any sort of payment from those links if you click on them and you go over to their website over at Vevor.com, but you do save 5% store-wide and I believe $52 US on this unit if you go and use the coupon code that's linked up down below if you're interested in purchasing one of these. So in this video is an initial unboxing and a review of what I think about this grinder thus far. I will be doing additional videos on this in the future, including one on how to mod this to turn it into a 2x72 grinder. This is a 2x82 grinder, which is a weird belt size. That's the kind of the first thing to mention about it, is that it does have an odd belt size that will be hard to find, but there are some workarounds to this way. If you're willing to put in a little bit extra elbow grease with it, you can make it a full-fledged 2x72 grinder. So let's talk about the shipping first and foremost. Shipping they did a good job this time on the shipping. Vevor last time on one of their anvils that they sent me, they did a terrible job of packaging it. And I made mention of that in the review of their anvils that they had sent me. And how they need to get a lot better at packaging. And, well, it sounds like they must have took some notes because this particular grinder showed up packaged immaculately, and because it has so much weight, it was freighted to our address with a liftgate delivery. And so not much else to say about that. It came and really well packaged in a crate, which I like to see with something this heavy. This came in with the packaging right around 200 and some odd pounds. So that's the reason for the freighting. So that should tell you that this is one heavy rig of a grinder. It is very, very stout. There are no cheap, thin walled tubing or anything like this that you're going to be dealing with this grinder. Everything has had plasma cut or machined heavy plate steel that has been put in this. Now the wheels themselves are aluminum. The various wheels that you see, those are aluminum, but the rest of the unit is heavy duty steel construction. So first off, first impressions. Pop it out of the box. What do I think? I'm pretty darn well impressed with everything except one thing. Whatever grease they put on this from the factory stinks to high heaven. You are going to want to wear some nitrile gloves when you unbox your own if you do go purchase one, because whatever they put on these things just stinks. Ugh. It's terrible, terrible smelling. That is a nitpick thing I have, but I have noticed it with other of the more economical companies out there from overseas, whether it be India or China. They put some sort of terrible smelling grease on it. I don't know if it's to prevent bugs or maybe mice, but ugh. I wouldn't want to live in the packaging or any of the packaging material. So don't unbox this in your living room on your carpet or anything. You'll want to do it in your shop. So yeah, pretty impressed with the overall build quality. Stout, packaged well. I like all that thus far as an initial look and first review of it. Let's jump into a little bit about the variable frequency drive and then we will move on. So this unit comes with a variable frequency drive. They do have other units that are just a direct drive system without variable frequency, where you just turn an on-off switch to turn the thing on or off. But this particular unit has a inverter and a variable frequency drive because this is a 3-phase motor, and so they're running a variable frequency drive with it. How many more times, Roy, can you say variable frequency drive? Get to the point. I'm getting there, okay? I'm trying not to stutter. So let's talk about the buttons on the display. There are a total of 8 buttons on the display, and 4 of them you should never touch unless you want to get into an hour or 2 of scratching your head trying to figure out how to reprogram it like I did. I made the mistake of touching the program buttons and set and the add and sub buttons. I made the mistake of messing around with those, and what I thought I was doing is setting up presets for like speeds and feeds on the machine. And what I ended up doing instead is totally reprogramming this unit to something where it wouldn't even turn on. It wouldn't let me run the machine or nothing. And so I ended up having to go deep in the weeds and get it back in order to where I could get it back set, get it back to a factory reset. And that was my first initial impressions of a variable frequency drive. Now, I have never had a VFD grinder in my shop. My main grinder in my shop has been a home-built model that I built myself. It's a direct drive, a direct drive motor. You just flip a switch and it's on, and it's all one speed. As where this, you can change its speed to suit your liking. You just hit the run button, and you can make it run as slow or as fast as you'd like. So right there, it's running about 246 RPMs. And there's 1440. And there's off. So that is kind of neat to be able to take and control that. I think I've went as low as 50 revolutions per minute with this variable frequency drive. So that's just kind of weird. I don't know what you would use that for. Maybe that's very similar to like a sharpening stone, one of those like pedal type of stones. That might be similar to that there. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. It comes with quite a few things. The variable frequency drive, I can't say much about it. I'm not digging into all the electronics or anything else like that. It is what it is. You're going to have to find a place to mount it, and you're going to want to put some sort of filter over the inlet computer fan that sucks and blows air. Because if you don't, I'm imagining that's going to suck a lot of shop dust and send it through that unit, and that might cause failure later on. So that would be my one recommendations there. The power transformer unit, there's nothing to talk about it. It's got a little slot on the back that you could just hang it, put a nail in somewhere and hang it from, to mount it to a wall or something like that, underside of a table. This is a 110 unit. I believe it's a 110 or 220 unit, so you can put it in 220 volts or 110. I'm running it off 110 right now, and I couldn't bog the machine even with pushing hard and heavy on it with a piece of 1/4x1 flat stock. So 110 should just be fine, and that will really help in a small hobbyist shop, I believe. So now let's address the elephant in the room. 2x82. What? Why a 2x82 sanding belt media? I don't know. Can't answer that for you. It's easier to make a 2x72 than make a 2x82, I would surmise. And 2x82 is a very difficult belt to get a hold of. The closest I've been able to find is one manufacturer that offered 2x90 belts. And I believe that's Sparky Abrasives. I'll put a link to that website down below. No affiliation whatsoever. It's just where I saw a 2-inch by 90-inch belt. I'm assuming that you could use that because this tooling arm stock is adjustable. I'm assuming you could use a 2x90 on this, but I can't confirm. They do send you a quantity of two 2x82 belts with this that are abject trash and garbage. They're like a Happy Sun brand or something like. It's just abject garbage, the belts that they sent with it. I didn't even touch the unit. I set it for like 500 RPMs. I was back here. I was getting ready to kind of film a clip of it, and it just snapped and through the belt. So I went ahead and tried it again with the second belt in there, and it did the exact same thing. And there wasn't anything grinding. There wasn't nothing touching. The wheels were tracking just fine. Just the belts were absolute garbage. So I would just suggest avoid the belt slap, chuck those in the garbage right out the gate, and go find yourself some high quality 2x72 belts. Why do I say 2x72? Because what you're looking at right now is a 2x72 belt on this grinder. This 2x72 belts work well with the large wheel attachment that comes with this entire machine. If I didn't mention that, this is a good price for it to come with a big wheel attachment like this. It also comes with a little wheel as well, a small wheel attachment for getting into those hard to reach places, and it comes with two different size wheels for that. Well, the 2x72 belt will work well with those components themselves. The only thing the 2x72 belt doesn't work with is the flat platen. So the back flat platen, the one that I'm assuming most knife makers are going to be the most entertained by, if you are in fact a knife maker. I'm not a knife maker, so I don't really care. This big wheel's fine for me. I probably won't ever have to even use the back flat platen for anything. I don't do flat blades, so this isn't as useful to me as it may be to you. This here is too long. So it's too long for a 2x72 belt to be able to make it all the way around. Now I did find a video where another guy had took and done a modification to a unit very similar to this to be able to make that flat platen actually work with his grinder. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. That video there I think would be a valid way of overcoming that, and most likely that is what I will do to take an upgrade or to modify this grinder to a 2x72 myself. I think that is well worth it. Now, does that ding this unit? In my opinion, yeah, kinda. If you're gonna buy it, you hope to just be able to fire it up right out of the box and run it just fine. Now, to be fair, I was able to plug this unit in, plug all the necessary cords together, and hit go, and the unit started up fine and ran perfectly right out the get-go until I started messing with buttons, right? And so, you know, to be fair on that, that's fine. So it's not a complete deal breaker, but do keep in mind if you're hoping to find commonly available belts, you will have to mod this grinder a little bit to do that, and I intend to do that myself because I have about 400 belts on hand that are 2x72, and I ain't gonna go change it now to something much longer for a lot more price. So let's talk about price for a second. From my limited research on this grinder comes in at about a fifth the cost of professional grinders out there that all of the knife making world would, you know, put their thumbs up behind. And as I'm not a knife maker, I don't really need to spend $9,000 on a grinder, or $5,000, or even $7,000, $6,000, $4,000, or $2,000 on a grinder. That is not what I need to do. Again, I've been getting by with my 2x72 grinder that I built for myself for about around $300, $300 to $500. I built that thing, and I've worked on that thing for 7 years. So I'm not really in the market for something that tracks perfect and has all the bells and whistles and features for knife grinding work. If that is something that you're into, you may want to look for something a little bit higher end than this if you're trying to do it in a professional manner. But will this work if you're a hobbyist to intermediate smith? I think it would marvelously. I think it would be a great start as long as everything holds up. Now, why do I make that statement, as long as everything holds up? Well, I do plan on doing a 6-month and a 1-year review of this grinder and showing you my findings of how this thing has actually held up over time. Until then, it's going to be in a professional blacksmith shop where I work 6 days a week here, and that's about 70 hours a week. So we're going to really put it through its paces in a professional environment, and then we're going to torture test it over the next 6 months to a year, and I'll let you know my findings on that long term. I would love to get some additional grinders into the shop from other manufacturers, at least to test out and to take and show the differences of out there to you guys, my audience. Let me know down in the comment section if you'd like to see that, and anybody who's subscribed and all that business, greatly appreciate y'all. Let me know if this gets enough likes and thumbs up. I will add some more grinders to the repertoire, and we will check out a lot more with some no BS conclusions. As many of you know, if it's your first time here on the channel, I pull no punches when it comes to reviews at all. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the facts and as clearly and concisely as possible. And I strive real hard at being factual with that. So even though this was sent to me completely free of charge, which I'm thankful for, thank you Vevor for that, I will hold nothing back if something goes wrong with it. I can guarantee you that, because I think it's important for people to know and be able to make educated buying decisions. So that's it for this video. Thank you for listening to me waffle on long enough. If you are considering purchasing this grinder, which you might have been considering you've already were watching this video and searching the internet for a review like this, please consider subscribing and checking out the links down in the description down below. And you can go over and get some money off of this particular grinder if you do so at thevevor.com. And as always, thank you for watching. God bless. We'll catch you on the next one.